A surprise Armored Core mobile re-release with more on the way. The first ever Armored Core concert has been announced, and an AC6 patch that's just a head scratcher. We have all that and more coming up in this video. Greetings Ravens, I'm Cleric, and I'm here to tell you... This is just a quick reminder to please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and it really does help me out. I'm actually zeroing in on 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'd like to cross that threshold here soon. I think it'd be cool to get there, considering I was just at 400 subs just 2 years ago. So yeah, a lot of things have changed the last couple of years. So if you help me get there, you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it. And based on metrics, most of you haven't. I just want to say thank you again to all my members. I have people on Patreon, on Twitch, and on YouTube who are paid members. Thank you so much for what you do. I really appreciate. I do not take it for granted. And yeah, I love Armored Core, and the fact that I can kind of do this as a hobby and make a little extra change while at it is awesome. So thank you all so much. I appreciate it so much. Now on to the news. Now our lead news story. Armored Core mobile mission was announced by Gmode Corporation. Those of you who don't know or aren't aware, Gmode Corp is working on re-releasing all of these old Japanese mobile phone market games out on consoles and on PC. When they announced the game, they also had included a shadow drop on the Nintendo Switch. When I went to check, sadly, it is only available in the Japanese eShop, so if you don't have a Japanese account or a Japanese Switch, this will not be available to you. However, that all not is lost, given the fact that it's also still coming out on Steam on April 29th, and it is, of course, available here in the US as well. Many are probably not aware, but From Software released 4 Armored Core mobile games on the Japanese phone game market. This was something I've actually been dying to actually play, and it's actually something I've been working on for a few months now with the preservation group to kind of get this released on emulator. But it appears those efforts may not be necessary anymore, because if Gmode's going to do it, I say let them. I'm not complaining at all. I have been dying to play these games, and I've never got a chance to before because they've never been playable outside of the Japanese mobile phone game market. So the fact this is even happening at all is awesome. So when this comes out on 29th, I'll be streaming that day, that night, and I'll be getting the game, and I'll be playing it for the first time live and showing everyone else the game, how it works. For those who haven't seen before, seen the announcement trailer, I should have been playing here. I'm assuming I can get it right. You're going to see that it's a very different game, the first one at least, and it's a kind of a top-down. So I'm actually kind of curious to see how the game actually runs and functions. I'm really excited to get to play this game. On top of that, though, we're also getting the announcement of Armored Core Mobile 2. They announced after that shortly that they're working on the release of that as well. No release date or no time when it's going to be out at this point, but they are working on Armored Core Mobile 2, which if you've seen the trailers for it, it's much more traditional what you're used to looking at Armored Core, but in a mobile phone game. So I, at the very least, am extremely excited for these to come out. In sort of game news, Kadokawa, that's From Software's parent company, announced the first ever Armored Core concert. This specifically for Armored Core 6. The concert has been named Re-Resonance. It will be performed by the Tokyo Grand Philharmonic Orchestra and conducted by Hiroyasu Matsuo. The guest vocalist will be Mari Yoshida, which those of you who don't know, she was the vocalist also on the Armored Core Verdict Day track Cosmos on the 20th anniversary album of Armored Core. This was done in cooperation with Mr. Hoshino himself, and he even had lended some words that I think some might find interesting. So, hello everyone, this is Hoshino from From Software. By the way, this is the Japanese translation. I made it be exactly accurate, so just take it for what it is. The music in Armored Core series uses electronic instruments such as computers and synthesizers. It started out as a minimalist style and a strong techno influence in a kind of inorganic style. Although the style has changed over the course of the series, there are probably very few pieces that were written with an orchestra in mind. This music from AC will be presented for the first time as a live orchestra concert. I'm really excited to see what kind of orchestral arrangement it will be performed in. I myself will have to agree. I'm also kind of excited to hear what the fully orchestrated versions will sound like. I'm really hoping they end up re-releasing this somewhere online, or maybe they record it live and make it available to see later, because I myself would like to hear a fully orchestrated version live in concert myself. Now, this is a one-day only concert, and they're split into 2 separate concerts, and each will contain a special track unique to that time. So to hear everything, you need to go to both. Originally, it was only open to a lottery of people in Japan, but they did briefly open up an international lottery for ticket sales. However, as of the release of this video, actually during the recording, that lottery is now closed. And now, this does technically say on the site this is Lottery 1. That could mean there could be a Lottery 2 or 3. So there's a chance they may do more in the future. The concert is on Saturday, August 16th, and premium ticket purchasers will even get a special holographic card set of the expansion parts from Armored Core 6. So yeah, if anyone actually ends up going to this and you happen to get some of these really cool nifty expansion cards, if you want to hook up your favorite Armored Core creator, wink wink, nudge nudge, he may or may not be eternally grateful to you. In more game news, patch 1.08 was released for Armored Core 6 and it was a bit of a dud. Not much has changed, and the really only thing they really did was fix the basho bug, and even that, the way they fixed it was kind of weird as far as what they did with it. And with that everything being fixed, quote unquote, something was done oddly, because ever since this patch, it just hasn't worked right. There's been these extremely long delays, some as short as 4 minutes. I've seen a delay of myself personally as much as 4 minutes in between matches randomly. You'll just go into load into a match, or sometimes between rounds you'll just sit there for 2 to 3 minutes and just not do anything. They did just recently do a maintenance, so I'm kind of hoping that's been fixed since then. But yeah, this patch has some really weird stuff on the back end. I did a whole video on it actually. If you want to go take a look at that video, yeah, I talked to Vumsy, who had a lot of good information on the back end changes, and there's some really weird things with this patch. So yeah, if you haven't already, go check that out. I'm really hoping the maintenance took care of the main issues, but yeah, just weird patch. In even more sort of game news, they have expanded the Armored Core Amazon shop to include more art options. I myself am wearing the V4 Rusty shirt here. It is the same smattering of shirts and hoodies and cups you had there before, but they have a ton more options to choose from as far as art-wise goes, including Chatty. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end up getting one of these just so I have the wheelchair legs on a shirt, because wheelchair, my beloved. In more game news, as previously reported, Gen 1 of Armored Core has been released on the PlayStation Network. We reported about it before its announcement, but it's actually been released since then. The good news is they actually ended up not locking this behind the premium version of PlayStation Plus. People could actually go online and purchase these titles individually from the PSN store. It has all the standard button remapping that other classic titles on the PSN has, but there is kind of one big drawback. So, for those of you who aren't aware, from Gen 1, one of the key features from Gen 1 was the ability to transfer saves from Armored Core 1 to Armored Core Project Phantasma, and then from Project Phantasma onto Master of Arena. But there is no option to do that this time. The drawback here is that if you want to play with Human Plus, which you can still unlock in the first game, is that considered spoilers at this point? And I don't think that's considered spoilers. I'm pretty sure that it's not spoilers. Anyways, I want to unlock Human Plus in that game. You have to go through the whole system where you lose a whole bunch of credits, you lose the mission, and it fails back, and you keep, every time you do that, you end up getting more and more upgrades to get all the upgrades. That basically makes you can fire back cannons while moving, increase energy capacity, better AMS or missile interceptions, all kinds of stuff. So what that enables you to do is have a more powerful AC as you go through the game. You couldn't unlock those in Project Phantasma or Master of Arena. You had to transfer saves from the first game all the way through to keep having that ability. Well, with these, there is no option to transfer at the moment. So to kind of get over this or kind of get past this, when you go into Project Phantasma or go into Master of Arena, all the hidden parts you have to find in the game from Armored Core 1 are immediately available in the shop. It's kind of funny to see in the carousel is sitting there available to purchase right then and there, and I think you get like 100,000 credits or something to buy some parts at the beginning that get you started. So yeah, so I'd highly recommend playing Gen 1 if you haven't already. I love Gen 1, it's where I got my start, and so if you haven't played it, I highly encourage you to do so. Just keep in mind you won't be able to carry a transfer or plus all the way over, so you get the proper hardcore Armored Core experience of dying over and over again, because yeah, if you're not used to Gen 1 and the controls and other things like that, even with the remapping, you can make kind of janky things with dead zones. Yeah. In our last bit of game news, with the re-release of Gen 1 on PSN, the Sony PlayStation blog released a brief look back and overview of the Armored Core series. They even came up with this really cool video graphic that I have showed up here now in the video, showing the discs of the different, a few of the games throughout the series. And honestly, it's a really cool graphic. The only real miss here is the fact they didn't use actual Armored Core music in the video, which is a little bit sad. But that being said, with all this stuff happening on Armored Core, between Gen 1 getting re-released on PSN, all these cool things happening on the PlayStation side, and now Armored Core Mobile 1 and 2 coming out, I honestly am holding out some real and honest hope that we can see the possibility of other generations of Armored Core seeing a re-release, which is something we haven't seen before. And man, would I love to see, can you imagine, Armored Core fans, we got imagine we have like Gen 3, Gen 2, Gen 4, Gen 5 get re-released on consoles, or even Steam. Can you imagine Steam versions of this? Man, the dream would be happening at that point. So yeah, I don't know how I would have, if I would ask me 10 years ago, if you would ask me 3 years ago that I would even remotely even hope even somewhat that this could happen in the future, I'd have been like, you're nuts, they ain't ever happening. But now the last few months, you know what? I think there's a real possibility we could see more games get released in the future on other consoles, maybe even PC on Steam. And man, if that happens, living the dream. We have one bit of model kit news. 30-minute missions announced and released the Weapons Set 4 for their Armored Core 6 model kit line. This includes weapons like the Gatling gun and the explosive thrower and more. This is actually currently out, so if you want to go purchase it or order it, it is currently available for you to do so. And now for a news section I'm calling Art of the Month. After seeing so many awesome artworks recently on Twitter, I decided I needed to add a section to the news for basically showcasing art pieces. Now, there's a whole lot to pick from, and I realized trying to pick a single piece out of the ethosphere of all the things. Honestly, one of my single favorite things coming out since Armored Core 6's release is not people just going through Armored Core 6, but going through some of the old games too. A lot of the new fans have been going through the older games, and from that, a lot of new fan arts have come out, and some of these things are just awesome. So I figured to be very fitting for this very first one, still talking about the re-release of Gen 1, I'm going to go back to my friend Mason Rosenquist. Now, if you always know, Mason is kind of a friend of the channel, but he's been a friend of the channel for a while now. I've known of Mason's work for many years. I've seen him post things on X and other places. But for those who don't know, he essentially makes, I mean in excruciating detail, recreates ACs piece by piece, part by part. And it's insanely highly detailed work. And he recently finished a recreation of 9-Ball from Armored Core 1. And here's a video of the rotation on screen. I mean, just look at it. Mwah! Masterpiece. So well done, Mason. You get the honor of holding this month's Art of the Month. Before I get to our meme of the month, I just wanted to say something. I released a video last week in regards to issues that the Armored Core community has kind of had for a couple decades now. Something I see every new Armored Core gets released. We've had an issue in a long time in the Armored Core community in general is not being very welcoming to new fans to the series who get introduced through the new games. We have a habit of basically picking our favorites and then basically crapping on anything that's not our favorites, which does not lend itself to a well-functioning community in general. So I was kind of talking a little about the history of the toxicity and some of the complaints you commonly see. So I asked for people's thoughts and to put their things in the comments, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. The response has almost been overwhelming. There have been so many positive messages, DMs, many anecdotal stories from people's own interactions with the Armored Core community, whether they're an old member of the community or just now coming with Armored Core 6. And there's just so much in there to even remotely cover what they've been said. So honestly, I just want to say thank you all for taking your time. I've read almost all of these, and a lot of them have been really awesome to get to read. You all made me feel a whole lot better about making the video in the first place. I wasn't sure if the video was even worth my time, or even like it was too, you know, I saw one person's comment was like, oh no, Cleric's upset. I think the worst thing I think I've ever seen him is mildly annoyed, and the person was surprised I was even doing a rant video at all. So from the comments, I really feel like it was worth my time, and I really appreciate what I saw. So I just want to say thank you for everyone who said that. So all right, on to the meme of the month. As always, we finish up with our meme of the month. And this month's meme is courtesy of Sombrero, or @fragile_cube_ over on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. And here is this month's meme. Yeah, do you see it there? It's just we got the Liger tail in the front and everything with the red guns. Yeah, this is honestly just too cute. And I kind of thought with Easter happening this weekend, it has kind of an Eastery vibe to it, kind of. So yeah, this was definitely my winner for this month for the meme of the month. So yeah, well done. This is really good. And that's all the news I have for today. The links to each of these items covered are in the description below. And as always, in the description below is the Events Hub. There you will find links to various Armored Core communities where you can participate in some cool Armored Core events or tournaments, and some even include prizes. If you'd like to submit a piece of news to be covered, there's a link in the description below where you can submit some information for me to cover. Also, as I mentioned earlier, over on X and Twitter, I've been there a lot lately. I've been growing it slowly. I was just at 200 followers a couple months ago. I'm over 600 now, and I have been daily posting images from Armored Core's like History Foundation or other places, or some things that I found on the Wayback Machine, and just kind of showing off some Armored Core goodies from Armored Core's history. So feel free to follow, give the account a follow over on X, and go see some get some morning daily Armored Core goodness. All right. I think that's all I have for you today. As I said before, thank you all so much for your time. This is Cleric signing off.